Good evening, St. Augustine. Look who's back. We are. Hi, Blake.
Hi.
A little too lively for you?
Had a little bit of a technological scare here, so but we're doing all right. But hey, we are live. It technically is near 5 o'clock, so by rules of rounding, we are at 5 o'clock.
By rules of rounding, there you go. Don't make me do math. I keep telling you that's not a good thing.
Indeed, but hey, but don't worry, math. You don't have to do math. But when we say we are in the
Bozard Ford Studio.
All right,
Okay, baby.
and that leads us into Bozard Ford Lincoln. For over 75 years, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been a trusted name in St. Augustine, built on family values, honesty, and doing things the right way. With over 1,200 vehicles to choose from, no surprise pricing, and the drive happy guarantee, Bozard makes car buying simple and stress-free. That's the Bozard difference. Their state-of-the-art facility features 91 climate-controlled bays, a quick link for no apartment maintenance, and the Ford's Garage restaurant on site just right off State Road 16 and I-95. Bozard Ford Lincoln, they are driven to inspire.
All right. My wife and I had a fabulous breakfast there just a couple of days ago. So if you're looking for classic diner food done right, Anastasia Diner and Moultrie Creek Diner are local favorites, serving up home-style comfort with generous portions. Start your day with their hubcap-sized pancakes and made-to-order omelets. I had a pastrami omelet that was just outstanding. A little white American cheese in there. Anyway, good stuff. Stop in later for juicy burgers and crispy fries that always hit the spot. Known for friendly service and a welcoming atmosphere, these diners are perfect for breakfast, lunch, or a laid-back meal with family and friends. Anastasia and Moultrie Creek Diners. Tell them Andy sent ya.
All right. For over 20 years, A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing has been protecting homes and businesses since across St. Augustine and St. Johns County. Specializing in shingle, metal, tile, and flat roofing, A to Z delivers quality craftsmanship built to withstand Florida's toughest weathers. From free estimates to long-term warranties, their team puts customer satisfaction first on every job. When it comes to experience, reliability, and results you can trust, start at the top. A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing, covering you from the top down.
All right. Who else we got?
That leads us into our other fantastic sponsors that we have here. We got the Brightway Insurance, a KC agency, St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, St. Italian Restaurant, Synergy Power Solutions, Aber Kresge Associates, Powell Heating and Air, Meehan's Irish Pub, 80 Davis Construction, St. Augustine Distillery, and Citygate Spirits. Ooh.
Catch your breath there, young man. Catch your breath. That's a lot.
Try my best, Lenny.
All right. Okay.
All right. Once again, thank you so much for coming in for the morning show today. So how was the interview with Karen Turner from the St. Augustine Business Coalition?
I think the interview went really well. You know, she knows what's going on. She's a good steward and shepherd for the business community in St. Augustine. She and Len Weeks seem to do a very nice job with that, speaking and trying to protect the business community. Mm-hmm. And speaking for and trying to protect the business community. And I think the interview went very well, if you ask me. I think Karen was pleased with it as well. It was the first time I met the woman. She's delightful. She knows her stuff. And I look forward to seeing her again and maybe doing another interview with her down the line. And let's not forget, she's reinvigorating her podcast.
Indeed.
St. Augustine Chronicles, which will be, I believe, on Wednesdays, are they?
Yes.
So you can watch it right here on the 904 Now app. And that would be great. Yeah, and I think we got a lot accomplished too. We talked about a lot of things. We wrapped up Nights of Lights. We talked about the seawall construction. We talked about the King Street Bridge construction. We discussed a little bit about the troubles and trials of the businesses that are uptown on San Marco, which have completely different issues than the downtown people. So there's a lot going on. You know, it's a tough town to survive in when you have lulls the way we do after the Nights of Lights. You know, we're coming into now through probably about the beginning of March. It gets a little bit soft business-wise in town. And, then things pick back up with festivals and events. So you do have the Catholic School Festival coming up, but I think that's much more for locals than bringing in tourists necessarily. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. That's definitely more of a that's definitely a local institution than like bring every tourist possible because
right.
Yeah, but it definitely is a lot of fun. February 22nd, so not the next weekend, not this weekend. Next weekend is when that festival is.
That gives you time to enjoy your Valentine on Saturday.
Yeah, and then but then enjoy the 500 on Sunday.
There you go. That's another one for you. You're just booming from Super Bowl to the Daytona 500. Vroom vroom.
So still got the Olympics going on as well.
Yep. I'm enjoying some of that too. But let's start with the Super Bowl. How did you enjoy that game?
It was a mixed bag. Like when the first three quarters happened, I was like, come on, can we just play an actual game? Like the Patriots being a shutout going into the fourth quarter was embarrassing. Like just.
Well, in all reality, don't forget the Seahawks were just kicking field goals. They weren't scoring touchdowns either, and they were a pretty high-powered offense as well. We sort of I don't think people respected the quality of the two defenses. They were two of the better defensive teams for the entire season, and everybody figured that the offenses were so productive as well that it comes back to the baseball conversation. Good pitching will beat good hitting every day of the week. A tough defense will beat a good offense more times than not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what we saw, and I think people were used to high-scoring Super Bowls. They wanted a little bit more action. People called the game boring. I didn't find it boring. It was a little bit of a chess match, and it kind of worked its way out the way most people expected with Seattle winning. But I think people were a little disappointed in the performance of the Patriots.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of some of Trevor Lawrence's mistakes in Drake May, because Trevor Lawrence will have games where he's just not on, and he'll, overthrow, underthrow, throw low for his receivers. And you saw that with Drake May. He was pressured a lot during the game. I think he was sacked 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
So that is not helpful at all. And I enjoyed it. It was a fun Super Bowl. It wasn't a flashy, high-scoring Super Bowl. But yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to see the response of both sides as well. And I actually legitimately thought that the Seattle kicker Jason Myers should have won Super Bowl MVP.
I thought so too.
But if you remember because fans can actually vote on the Super Bowl MVP, he wasn't an option.
They didn't give him as a choice?
No.
That's ridiculous. He scored basically all their points.
Yeah. Yeah, because let's see, first quarter, Jason Myers field goal. Second quarter, Jason Myers field goal. Jason Myers field goal. Third quarter, Jason Myers field goal. Fourth quarter, for Seahawks, AJ Barner receiving touchdown from Darnold. Jason Myers field goal, and then the pick six.
Right.
And
then the game got out of control toward the very end of it for sure.
Yeah. So let's see. Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 out of the 7 official scoring drives for the Seahawks, 5 of them were done by a Jason Myers field goal.
Yeah, I mean the guy put up 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
So
17 points if
counting the extra points, right?
Counting the extra point as well. So.
Right. So realistically, he certainly deserved it. On the other hand, Kenneth Walker's rushing total, I mean, I think he had about 25, 26 receiving yards, but he was 120 yards on the ground.
See.
He's a little bit of a machine. Once he gets going, he's like one of those he's like a lot of running backs that start off slow, but as the game wears on, he just really continues to pound it. And he's got breakaway speed when he gets that opportunity.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker, 27 attempts, rushing attempts, 135 yards, 30 yards was his longest run.
Yeah.
But also with 2 receptions, 4 targets for 26 yards.
26 yards, yeah. So he was over 150 yards total from scrimmage, and that was, impressive.
Yeah. 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 And in case you're wondering, the highest rusher for the Patriots was Drake May with 37 yards.
Wow. That's tough when you have Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, Trevion Henderson is a change of pace back, but Ramondre Stevenson usually has 70, 80 yards. So not today, not yesterday, I should say.
Yeah, and let's see. So Drake May finished with 27 completions, 43 attempts, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Sam Darnold, 19 completions, 38 attempts, 202 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah. So, and Sam Darnold didn't play his usual game as well. I mean, he's usually over 250 yards. He barely got over 200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Nakua had, JSN had no real impact on the game. He left for about a quarter when he, got dinged up a little bit, but came back in. But he didn't have a very big impact on the game.
Yeah, because I remember I think it was Hard Rock Bet having his receiving yards at like 94 and a half.
Really?
But his actual
JSN.
but his actual was 4 receptions on 27 yards.
Right. It was a horrible off game for him. Not counting even the time that he was off the field in the locker room. But yeah, well, the Seattle Seahawks team filled in. The defense was strong. They got to Drake May, like I said, 6 times. So all said and done. And it was interesting too. I wonder if they wait to the end of the game to mix the Gatorade. And by the way, if you watch the game, you showed them mixing the Gatorade at the very end. So there was a scene where we were on the sideline toward the end of the game, and they were mixing it, and it was yellow and or green. So I'm kind of wondering to shake any of the collusion suspicion of somebody knowing in advance what color the Gatorade was. You could have put all your bets in, but they didn't start mixing it up until there was, 3 minutes left in the game. And I wonder if they color coordinated, because I wonder if the Patriots had won, if it would have been blue Gatorade, because my brilliant wife decided to figure it out, and she thought, well, the Patriots wear blue, which they were wearing white yesterday, but be that as it may, and the Seahawks wear green, that you were going to color coordinate it. So I'd be curious to see if they had a blue pack for the Gatorade, or maybe they were unlabeled drink mix, and nobody knew what it was until you put it in with the water. So be that as it may, Super Bowl is over and done with. Football's done. Next thing for football will be the NFL draft. And wake me up for that, because you know what happens on Saturday? Pitchers and catchers, we're getting some baseball back. All right.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of talk about that. But the funniest thing about the post NFL coverage right now is actually so next year for the Super Bowl, for Super Bowl 61 in Los Angeles, ABC and ESPN are going to be broadcasting the game, and starting last night, they made this whole spectacle about did the Walt Disney Company's taking over Super Bowl coverage? So they're going to be doing a whole bunch of Super Bowl coverage. They're going to be doing like the Manning cast. They're going to be broadcasting the game on ESPN, Disney Plus, Hulu. They're going to be having a Marvel alternate cast. They're going to be having a Star Wars alternate cast, Disney Pixar a Princess alternate cast. Would you like Princess Jasmine?
What happened to the Puppy Bowl? Leave the puppies alone and keep the princesses where they need to be on Animation Row or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So, but they're trying their best to get as much out of it, and also at least make sure that people are watching the Super Bowl, because some people might not like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they're going to be calling the Super Bowl next year.
Hey. At least it's not Tom Brady.
True that. So
he's getting a little bit better.
2 more years away from that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just Disney for 2 years before it goes to.
No. So this year was NBC. Next year it's ESPN, ABC, and ESPN, and then next year it'll be Fox.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So should be interesting. So, yeah. But the thoughts on the NBC broadcast.
Fine.
Mike Tirico did well.
Sure.
Yeah. So and then
Chris Collinsworth was less annoying than he usually is.
Yeah. And but that's mainly because Patrick Mahomes is not playing.
But Chris Collinsworth does have this amazing ability to say, there hasn't been a penalty in the game. Flag on the next play. He brings up stuff, and all of a sudden, he becomes. It's prophecy. He ends up, anticipating what's going to happen, and then it seems to. So. Yeah, no, I had no problem with Chris Collinsworth, Mike Tirico. I'm sure Mike Tirico's exhausted because he's over in Italy now.
Yeah, he is.
They wrapped him up, put him in a suitcase, and shipped him off.
He's already back in Italy, so
Yep.
yeah. So, Yeah, so and actually normally he calls the NBA primetime games for NBC, but at least NBC decided, you know what, we're not having you travel. Just stay in Italy. You just stay there. Then we'll just have a second we'll just have a second play by play guy.
That's all. Yeah.
No Eagle do the All-Star game.
Okay.
For the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So should be interesting there.
All right.
So let's do you want to talk about Bad Bunny?
Sure. I thought it was fine. Didn't, I think, all right, you want to talk about NBC? I think the sound mix was not great.
Yes.
Not having the language barrier was neither here nor there because the music was infectious. It was very lively. People were dancing. People enjoyed it. I think the hubbub about him doing it was much ado about nothing because I think the people that watched it enjoyed it. I don't know that a lot of people understood it. It could have been interesting if they did have a translation, closed captioning or subtitles, but that wasn't necessary either. It was very infectious. It was all about unity. It was a very lovely tour of the island of Puerto Rico, and it was great for Puerto Rican pride, which also worked out pretty well. There were some interesting guest vignettes in that.
Yeah.
I didn't see Jessica Alba. We did see Ricky Martin. There were a couple other people that kind of snuck in there. I don't remember.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. Could you understand a word she said? I mean, she was speaking. She was singing in English.
She was singing,
but the mix was horrible.
It was definitely not a good mix. So, but I probably shouldn't be crapping on multi-millionaire sound engineers, but
if you were doing the show, we would have been able to hear her.
Yeah, hopefully.
Wow.
Hopefully I would have. Yeah, but yeah. So, but it like the one thing like a lot of people are just saying about the whole like counter programming with the All American halftime show is like besides the primary preference stuff, it's like you could tell what was more of like a shill or like a just hey, we're all American, we're performing these songs so you don't watch the other guy rather than what was on the Super Bowl, which was just a pure passion project.
Right.
That spread the message of unity. That actually spread like actual creative talents, but like he was singing from the heart on at the 50-yard line at the Super Bowl, not necessarily being pre-recorded already at in a sound stage in Atlanta.
Right. It's just, you know what, bitch, complain, get over your bad selves, just watch the game, enjoy it, and next year it'll be somebody else.
Yeah.
And my point on that is if Kid Rock was the Super Bowl halftime, I don't think the liberal universe would be going, oh, well, my goodness, we have to put on an alternate thing. You watch it and you go away. That's all. Yeah. It's halftime entertainment.
Yeah.
Half the people are in the bathroom, half the people are eating, and then other people are watching it.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. It got made into a big deal like everything else, blown out of proportion. I think Bad Bunny's message was great. It would have been interesting to hear what Lady Gaga was singing about, though I did tell she was singing in English.
Yeah.
I think the rhythms and the infection of that music was great. I'm not into trap. I'm not into reggaeton. I'm not into rap. So a lot of it didn't necessarily appeal to me, but the rhythms and the music was great.
Yeah, but of course overall it was definitely a big risk to do like a primary Spanish speaker as the Super Bowl halftime show, and but of course obviously a lot of audience is not going to get it, but hey, there are people that still like this, that still like the performance, that wants to listen to Bad Bunny more now because of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah,
it was a good way. It was good.
And I was actually talking with one of my friends who's unfortunately a Patriots fan, and I was asking him about the Super Bowl. I was like, yeah, he didn't understand why the Super Bowl reached out to global audiences more than like the true American base. It's like, okay, first of all, Bad Bunny was born in Puerto Rico, so
right.
that's
which makes him an American.
And look, people also want like the best performer to not only at the Super, not only like the best athletes to perform their best at the Super Bowl, but they also want to hear the best artists that's possibly out there to perform at the Super Bowl. That's why a lot of people were mad that like a lot of bands didn't perform at the Super Bowl in 2019. That's how we got
Ghosts.
yeah. Anyway, so and a lot of people were mad about like the Maroon 5 performance because like is that really the best performance there?
You know, you have to work around the artist's schedules.
Yeah.
You have to, stretch out the production value. I mean, how many people were on the field for halftime? And there were hundreds and hundreds of people involved in this. As
Lots
far
of fake
as
trees.
as dancers, right? Grass, trees.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
So it's a big production for sure.
yeah, and all within the span of 13 minutes.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's incredible.
But-
Barbara Jean, I'll definitely say Bad Bunny was a great show, but Big Prince still number one. Like there's no other way to top him, no possible way unless you can get someone as charismatic. If I will say if the Michael Jackson performance if the halftime show happened with today's technology,
Oh wow, yeah,
it would have been phenomenal.
sure.
Like that would have been the only way to top the Prince, and even then, Prince was still probably up there at in the S tier of halftime shows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just and again, it's halftime of the Super Bowl. But coming back to they taking an international star, look at the NFL. I think they're working toward having every team play an international game. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
next season or the season after, and it may actually be next year.
that's
mean,
the
they've
overall
got
plan right now.
Brazil, Mexico, Germany, Ireland,
But they haven't.
England.
I don't think they've announced the Steelers Ireland game yet.
Okay.
But I do think it will come again next year. But it's maybe because I believe the international games get announced just a week before the main season schedule release.
Okay.
So-
I know they're opening in, I believe, Brazil again.
Yes, but this time it'll.
Oh, and also, are they doing Australia for something? Talk about wiping people out on a long plane
they're
flight.
going to be doing they're going to be doing Melbourne, Australia.
Yep.
Which thankfully they're going to be choosing the two West Coast teams.
Okay, get you a little
the
closer.
49ers and the Rams doing that game. And
And
then
hopefully they have a bye week afterwards.
yeah, and the Brazil game is actually going to be it's going to be in Rio de Janeiro
Okay.
with I believe it's the Cowboys playing that game.
Okay.
And then there's also a new European game, the Paris game, with
Nice.
with the New Orleans Saints hosting.
Okay. Well, there you go. A fleur de lis on their uniform, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys are playing in Brazil, who's going to be playing in Mexico City if they do another Mexico City game?
Let's see.
So that'll be interesting because usually it's the Cowboys. It could be the Cardinals, which would make perfect sense. So we'll see. Or, the Oilers, or the Texans.
I think it might be. I'm not sure. Let's see. Let me double check the Rio game first. Because I definitely know that's going to be a Rio that someone's going to be playing in Rio. I'm just not sure who is the official market for Brazil.
On the other hand, maybe the Jaguars only have to go overseas once instead of twice.
Never mind. So for Brazil, it can either be the Detroit Lions, Miami Dolphins, Patriots, or the Eagles. That they can be the host team in Brazil. They have the exclusive marketing rights to be the home team.
Really? Okay.
And actually Ireland can be the Green Bay Packers, Jaguars, Chiefs, Jets, Steelers, and Titans. But it's leaning towards the Steelers for most Ireland games because of Dan
Rooney.
Yeah, the Dan Rooney used to be the I believe ambassador to the U.S. in Ireland.
Right. U.S. ambassador to Ireland right.
Yeah, and then Australia can be the Raiders, Rams, Eagles, and Seahawks.
Okay.
For their home teams.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess they'll play in the Melbourne Cricket Grounds.
Mhm.
Which would be a great. And that, by the way, was an Olympic stadium from when the Summer Olympics were in Melbourne years ago. I think that was in the 50s, if not 50,
like
it was in the mid-50s, I'm pretty sure.
It definitely wasn't the one with Kathy Freeman and the.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I thought the Melbourne Olympics were in the 50s.
Yeah. Because I remember the Sydney 2000. That was the Kathy Freeman in their speed suits. So yeah, it should be interesting. And actually, fun fact: Brisbane is going to be hosting the Summer Olympics in 2032.
Really?
Yeah.
1956 in Melbourne.
All right, cool.
All right, Brisbane, very nice.
Cool. Yeah.
One part of Australia I've never been to. Did the whole southern half of the country.
All right.
Moving on.
Let's talk about something that's also a little bit super as well. You want to talk about Superman?
Sure. I was surfing around on the interweb, and interestingly enough, something came up. 30 things you didn't know about Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know a lot about Superman. So there you go. We're talking about Superman, The Adventures of Superman, the TV show that started in black and white and then became color. And actually, they filmed it in color all along because it was very smart of them. They used color stock in 1952 or 1954. The first 2 years they did in black and white. Then in 1954, the show ran from 1952 to 1958. It had 104 episodes. And very few people at all had a color TV at that point in time. But somebody was thinking and filmed it in color on color stock after the first 2 seasons so that future shows would be able to be broadcast in color, which is what happened. So that worked out really pretty well for them. But, there were 2 Lois Lanes. The original Lois Lane was a woman by the name of Phyllis Coates, who passed away. She was the last surviving cast member of The Adventures of Superman. She passed away a couple years ago. And she did it for the first season, and then they went on a long hiatus. So she took other roles, and when they came back from work, they said, all right, come on back. And she said, I got other gigs. Sorry, I'm done with this. She also didn't want to be typecast, which is what happened very quickly to George Reeves. It was very difficult for him to get any other roles other than Superman because he was so typecast as Superman. So a woman named Noelle Neal came and played Lois Lane for the rest of the series. Now, Phyllis Coates was a little bit more hard-boiled. She was tougher than Noelle Neal. Noelle Neal was softer. And there were darker crime drama in the first season to a much more kid-friendly going forward. And that was interesting. In the early years, we see Superman in color with his, blue and red uniform. The original uniforms were brown, gray, and white because those were the colors that worked well for filming in black and white. So it was really just a big, heavy wool suit. It was not comfortable. This poor George Reeves, got beaten pillar to post because he did most of his own stunts. You'd see him landing in. He'd be jumping off a ladder to do his landing from flying. He would jump on a springboard to get his leap to go fly. There would be, bars across the windows. So when he would come leaping in through a window, he was sort of swinging down with the bar that was over there. He was bruised and beaten up pretty much by himself all the time. You know where the Metropolis was?
The original Metropolis?
No, where they filmed, what they filmed as Metropolis.
Was it just like some soundstage in Universal City?
No, actually, it wasn't. It was in, it was the soundstage was, I'll find that somewhere because it was interesting because they overlapped. It was the RKO 40 acre back lot where they filmed the exteriors and stuff, which is interesting because it was the same street scenes for the Metropolis street scenes that they had used for Gone with the Wind and for Mayberry RFD or for Mayberry, the Andy Griffin Show. And, if you slowed down or froze a couple of frames of some of the overview shots, you could see the church from Mayberry that was there and there. No, the Daily Planet was actually the Los Angeles City Hall, very interestingly enough. So that was City Hall in Los Angeles. They had used the E. Clem Wilson building first, but it was City Hall. We talked about him doing his own stunts. Now, it was interesting because Kellogg's picked up as a major national sponsor early, but they used their power of the purse to control the show. They encouraged no romance. They wanted the fights to be shorter. Nobody could have breakfast together. Clark and Lois couldn't have breakfast together because apparently that was too intimate for Kellogg's. And there was they couldn't eat together for whatever reason. So that was pretty bizarre in its own right. But then it became problematic because what would happen is children would tie a towel around their neck and go up to their garage roof or their window, and they would try to fly, and they would jump out, and
Oh no.
they didn't fly. So it got to the point where George Reeves had to step out of character for a minute and explain to children. I guess he did it in his Superman outfit, his costume, but it wasn't scripted, and he took it upon himself to explain to the kids that no one can do what Superman does, so please don't try this at home. And apparently it worked, and kids stopped throwing themselves out of windows and trying to fly.
Good.
Perry White, the actor who played Perry White, was a gentleman by the name of John Hamilton. When you would see Perry White behind his desk at the Daily Planet, i.e. Los Angeles City Hall, he would have piles of paper all over his desk. Smart fellow. He had his script and his lines written down on those papers that were on his desk, so he was never without his cue or without his script, because it was always there right in front of him. So that was very, very interesting for him to handle that. In the early episodes, Clark Kent's glasses had no lenses in them because George Reeves didn't need glasses, and the production staff was concerned about the reflection of the studio or the filming lights reflecting off his glasses. Well, as time went on, George Reeves needed glasses. So when he was playing Clark Kent and he was wearing his glasses, he had actually real live prescription eyeglasses on. And in some of the episodes, you can see the little glints of reflection. They tried to lure Phyllis Coates back after a couple of seasons to get her to come back and reprise her role as Lois Lane. And they offered her a big raise. You know how much they were offering her? By today's standards, they would laugh.
Was it like $500 extra?
It was $350 an episode. That's all she was getting paid, was $350 an episode. I think that's what George Reeves was getting paid too, $350 an episode.
Okay.
Now, granted, this was in the mid 50s, so $350 in 1954. I don't know if it's comparable to the $10 million an episode that they were getting on The Big Bang Theory or things like that. It wasn't $10 million an episode, but it was $10 million a season.
Yeah.
At least. So, I don't know how that works out in today's dollars, but, and interestingly, and the man who did, look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Superman, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive. The man who did that opening monologue got paid $350 once. That was it. That's all the money he made on that, and it showed on 144. More to the point, there were no residuals. So the cast got paid for their original episode, and then when it went into syndication, they got nothing. They got no more money out of that deal.
That's
What
the
George Reeves tried to.
Hey, you might want to open up your bonus bet. You might want to open up Hard Rock Bet. I just got $220 worth of bonus bets.
Nice.
You might want to open yours up right now before you claim it. So before it goes away.
Really? Well, then I'm gonna have to give up on the show here.
I know. So I'm sorry.
You don't want me to do that. I can't see the comments. You know?
Yeah. So
All right, I'll do it here and see what happens.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work.
I got the comments here. Yeah. So. Yeah, but so Barbara Jean's asking, did you ever see the I Love Lucy show that featured George Reeves?
You know, it's funny you mention that, because as I was looking through all this stuff, it was interesting because they're showing various and sundry clips, and there was one with Desi Arnaz, Ricky Ricardo there. So I don't remember that one. So I don't remember that one. So we'll see what happens there. But I thought that was kind of interesting. I got it now. You see, you got me doing all sorts of different things here.
Hey, I want to make sure you got some money, man.
Yeah, I actually won a couple little bets.
There we go. All right, let's go to your awards. Let's see what you got.
$36 worth of bonus bets. Thank you, Blake Blevins.
I'm sorry.
No, why? Just because you got thousands of dollars.
Hey.
I got a $36 bonus bet. I'm trying to see what it says here.
Let's see. Let's see how much one. So I can wager up to. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 $36 bonus bets I can do. So it was
You had
one.
636. I got one.
Yeah.
Boy, they like you more than they like me.
I may have used all $100 of my
Oh, now they're feeling sorry for you.
they're just feeling sorry for like you they probably realized I probably clicked a lot on over 45 and a half on my
Well, that'll be interesting to see.
yeah. And then in case you're wondering, Bobby looked up into the sky and then saw and I actually saw a bird in a plane, and he was correct.
There you go. All right, look at that.
Yeah.
So what else we have? Yeah, no, I saw that thing. I got to find the one with Desi Arnaz. That should be interesting. George Reeve tried to get out of being typecast, and he started a show called Port of Entry, but they couldn't get so he said, all right, I'm leaving. I'm going to go film another show called Port of Entry.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know anything about it because it never got made because they couldn't get the financing. So they gave him a raise on Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice. They kept him a little bit happy there. Now, on June 16th, 1959, George Reeves was found dead upstairs in his house. And the conjecture was suicide, but it's still uncertain. And I don't remember the name of the movie. See if you can find that, because there was a movie made about the death. I think Superman might be in the title, but it was about the death and the alleged suicide of George Reeves. And it was an interesting movie. There was a party in the house downstairs. Things got loud. He went upstairs.
Was it Hollywoodland?
Might have been.
Yeah, it has directed by Alan Coulter, stars Ben Affleck, Adrian Brody, Diane Lane, Bob Hoskins.
Is that about the death of George Reeves?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting. Sadly, he died of a gunshot wound. They think it was suicide. Some people think there was a cover-up. Again, they have no final determination on that to the best of my knowledge. And sadly, his funeral was very small. I'm not quite sure why, but it was.
Yeah.
But there are other things that happened with it. They got no residuals, and we mentioned that. The original Lois Lane, Phyllis Coates, when they were filming an episode, she took a swing and knocked the guy out. I mean, she was supposed to take a poke at the guy, but she connected and laid the guy out. That was interesting. The Cape was a mess because it was a very, very low budget show, strangely enough. And the Cape was put together with tape and clips and things of that nature. When they would get into and out of the elevator at the Daily Planet, there's no elevator there. There's just two stagehands sliding two plywood doors together and pulling them back apart. And then they would rumble some tin to make it sound like the elevator was moving.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see the street scenes in Metropolis, the cars were actually golf carts with taxis, with taxi frames put on top of them to make them look like taxis, but they couldn't afford real cars, so they had those going back and forth. If Superman was flying in one direction, they would do that, but if they had him flying in the other direction, they would just turn the film over and have him going that way. So sometimes, if you're careful, you'll notice that the S is backwards on his shirt. But they leaped right into syndication after he died, and started merchandising. Lunchboxes, pajamas, things of that nature, and that took off pretty well for them and still does. Because look at what you got. It was the radio serial, then it was the TV show, and now you got movies after movies after movies. You've got cartoons, comic books. Well, the comic books started first, but still. So that was really kind of interesting stuff there. And for a while, the reruns were running daily, and this became the first bingeable show on TV because Superman was on every day for almost ever. And George Reeves does have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
That's good.
Last one I have for you. There was a bar on the set behind one of the plywood walls that the staff and the cast knew about. So if they were having a tough day or they wanted to have a better day, they'd go take a quick pop and get back onto the set. But you know, his muscles were foam padding in the uniform, in the costume, so that's why he looked like that. And it was so hot, and he would drip so much sweat that people on the crew said, you know, we could bottle this and call this sweet hero water. So that was it. That's all the interesting stuff I learned about the Superman TV show.
All right, thank you, Lenny. But now I do have to ask because we're about to start 5 questions here. Best Superman of all time.
I'm going with the classic George Reeve. You know, because it gets a little bit muddy. Yeah, you know, who is it? I can't picture of him. Who broke his neck on a horse?
Christopher Reeve.
Christopher Reeve, right? Which gets it's Christopher Reeve and George Reeves with an S.
Yes.
Christopher Reeve was pretty great. Dean Cain, not so much for me. I like George Reeve. He was sort of, you know, mild mannered when he was Clark Kent and rough and tumble when he was Superman. You know.
Yeah, I definitely do have to say, Christopher Reeve still is personally my favorite. Like because I do like the new actor that played Superman. What was his name?
Oh, Henry Cavill.
No, not Henry Cavill. It was who was it?
Oh, the most recent one.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that movie yet.
Let me double check here.
I'm looking forward to seeing.
David Cornsweet.
Corn Sweat.
Corn Sweat.
Corn Sweat.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, he's corn sweating. Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Superdog drag Superman by his cape back into the Fortress of Solitude to save him. I think that's a poignant little thing. So yeah, yeah, I like George Reeve. Don't forget, I grew up on him. So it's hard to go away from what you know from when you start.
All right. All right. Do you want to go on the 5 questions? What
Sure.
we have, Lenny? We got 10. We got 15 minutes.
All right, so we'll talk slow. Did your team win the Super Bowl?
No.
Okay, I thought we all took the Seahawks.
Oh yeah. Well.
I was rooting for the Patriots.
When you actually say, "Did your teammate?" I thought you would talk about, "Did your team win the Super Bowl?" And well, obviously Steelers, no. Jaguars, no.
Oh, I did wear my Jaguars shirt because I'm manifesting the Jaguars into the Super Bowl next year. A couple of people at the Super Bowl party I went to were all wearing Jaguars gear because we're trying to manifest the Jags into the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah. Well, I think you might want to be a little bit patient with that because the reason I say it is actually because I believe Super Bowl 62 is going to be held in Atlanta, so it might be an easier trip.
Well, I'm also figuring that 63 or 64 may very well be in Jacksonville because the NFL is usually very kind to new stadiums or rebuilt stadiums to give them a little bit of a leg up. So, you know, they're playing under construction this upcoming season. They're playing in, I believe, Orlando at Camping World Stadium, if that'll be the name when they get there.
Yeah, so in 2028 they'll be hosting in 2027 they'll be playing games in
Orlando.
Yes.
Okay. And then they'll be back, I believe, in the 29 season. They'll be back in Jacksonville in the renovated stadium. So anytime after that, they should be eligible to get a Super Bowl. And there was one in Jacksonville years ago.
Yeah, that I do remember that one when they had the bunch of cruise ships.
Right, because they didn't have the hotel rooms.
Yeah, on the St. John's River, and that was the Paul McCartney Super Bowl because that was the year after Janet Jackson, so they just had to go with the safest possible option because of Justin Timberlake being a dick.
You know, it was a wardrobe malfunction. What can I tell you?
Why did he have to grab it though like that?
I don't know. I mean, you know, there's still reports that the two of them planned it. Who knows?
Yeah, and plus it was the whole Super Bowl halftime show with Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake was sponsored by MTV to get young people to vote.
Okay.
So which means millions of teens could have been watching Janet Jackson's nipple and think, you know what? I am going to vote for George W. Bush.
Okay.
It's possible, Lenny.
It's possible. Anything's possible when it comes to elections and the youth of America.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah, but
And the olds of America.
Yeah, but for your question, Lenny, I definitely was rooting for the Seahawks. So in that sense, I would say yes.
See, I'm always just rooting for a good game. I didn't have a horse in the race. However, a lot of my close friends are Patriots fans, so I was kind of supporting the Patriots. Though we took emotionally, yeah, I was supporting the Patriots. Intellectually, I took the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Question number 2.
Which halftime show did you watch? The MAGA show or Benito Ocasio?
Benito Ocasio.
Okay.
There's no way. My hand was not on the remote. I think I had a wire in my hand. I was simply watching the show.
Right. And again, I enjoyed it. It was fast moving. There were a lot of people. He looked very happy.
Yeah.
He was very pleased with himself, as he should be. They pulled it off. There was no problem, except for the fact that I think the sound was bad, especially on Lady Gaga.
I definitely will say they went back and actually got the master recording and reposted it on YouTube with the actual sound quality much better
For Lady Gaga.
Yes.
Good, because it was a shame.
Yes.
Okay.
So Benito Ocasio was the halftime show I was watching because actually the All-American halftime show went into the third quarter. And
just trying to screw things up for other people. That's all.
Indeed.
But it might have gone right. It might have gone into the third quarter, but how many people stayed with it when the game was back on?
No.
And and in all fairness, it wasn't an enthralling game. When you're 3-0, 6-0, 9-0, it makes it a little bit tough. It might have been 12-0 at that point before the Patriots scored their first touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. They I believe it was 12-0 at the start of the fourth quarter. So Patriots are all scoring of their 13 points in the fourth.
Right, and it looked like Drake May was getting into a rhythm. They were coming back a little bit, but that interception ended any of that, and then the pick six just was the proverbial nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Yeah. All right, number 3.
Which Olympic sport are you looking forward to? Which Winter Olympic sport are you looking forward to watching this week or next week?
What's this week? I do want to see the women's hockey. The gold medal before the men's gold. Mm-hmm. I really like to see that.
Yeah, but the women's hockey team is playing really well. I'm really looking forward to skimo. I'm looking for that mountaineering thing. Again,
they already did the biathlon.
I don't know.
The shooting.
It's tough because live is on at
4 a.m.
No, well, 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. I mean, you've got the evening events there done in our afternoon, and then the primetime stuff is things that have already happened and it's all over and done and all edited and chopped up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough to follow. I don't know that they're doing such a great job with it. Peacock, you can pick and choose 2 or 3 different events at a time to watch what you'd like. Some of them they'll let you go to a full screen. Some of them they won't, and they'll keep it as a small box on your screen. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the mountaineering one, and that's a practical event too because that came out of the fact that the people that lived in the Alps had to do that. They had to climb up the mountain and they could ski down the other side. And it's like you're going to the supermarket. Okay, I'll be climbing up the mountain, but I'll be skiing home. Don't worry, honey, I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing that one. That looks pretty fascinating, and of course, curling, because the U.S. mixed doubles team is in the medal round, I believe.
Yeah. So biathlon starts the medal for the biathlon is the men's 12.5K starts at 5:15 a.m. on Sunday.
And though Lindsey Vonn got exploded, she broke her leg. She's already out of surgery.
Yeah, and I believe she actually confirmed that
broke her leg,
a broken tibia fracture.
Yeah. And they've already had surgery to repair it, I believe,
yes.
if I'm not mistaken. So she's okay. Her father, however, would say, I hope this ends Lindsay's career. He doesn't want her going back out on that mountain. So, more power to him. But this woman is, what an insurmountable will. There is no quitting that woman whatsoever.
Yeah. But
you got to appreciate her fortitude and her fearlessness.
Yeah, but also big medal event tomorrow though. The curling.
Yeah.
The mixed double finals for the U.S. has a chance to go for goal against Sweden.
Right, and I think they beat Sweden yesterday because I watched that match. They beat Sweden in the preliminaries, So that was pretty good.
Yeah. So Bobby, I believe luge singles men's luge is already done. Tomorrow at 11 and 12:30 is a women's luge runs 3 and 4, and then I believe it's the men's team relay first. Then goes into men's skeleton.
And if I'm not mistaken, and it's possible that I am, but I believe that the luge and skeleton run is the ones that they used for the Cortina Olympics in the 50s.
Yes.
It's the same run, which is pretty interesting as well.
And then put on NBC as well, because I'm a motorsports guy and I recognize that the guy commenting all the luge skeletons and bobsleds for NBC is Lee Diffie, the main NASCAR announcer. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's still a little bit of a motorsports flair in the Olympics coverage.
Okay. If you could participate in a winter Olympic sport, which would it be? To participate in, not to watch.
I would be the fourth pusher in a bobsled team.
That's the big one. That's the one at the back. That's you're the muscle and the speed, baby.
Yeah.
All right, good for you. Me, I'm doing bocce on ice.
Curling.
I'm curling. I'm doing bocce on ice. Plus, they've got those neat little shoes where they can just glide over the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's no blades necessarily, and I don't think the bocce lanes, the curling lanes, get too crapped up. But I'm wondering if they have little tiny Zambonis that can go in there and go back and forth to clean the ice. You know, get me a mini Zamboni.
Indeed.
All right, and we're going to wrap it up with what was your favorite Super Bowl commercial of this game, not of all time?
Favorites. There was a lot of commercials that they just pissed me off more and like me. I will say the Budweiser Freebird commercial with the bald eagle was really cool to see.
That was a good one. That was great.
Yeah.
Yep, I enjoyed that one very much.
Yeah, the ones I did not like was it was the Ring camera commercial that the basis the ones I'm focusing on, like we can turn on any camera in the area to see where your lost dog is, which just means we're going to use artificial intelligence to scan every single life form to see if there might be a loose dog.
Loose dog. I like your naivete and optimism, because if anybody has any illusion of privacy in today's world, more power to you, because, you know, not to sound paranoid or conspiratorial, it just no longer exists. Facial recognition is everywhere. Doorbell cameras are everywhere, and these are great tools.
Yes.
In, you know, preventing crime or solving crime. It really is. On the other hand, you know, it's somebody knows where you're, but we all have a phone in our hand or in our pocket, so it's not like people don't know where we are. If they're looking for you, they're going to find you. So just stay on the straight and narrow and don't worry about it, and life will be good. Peace, love, and harmony, or as Mr. Bunny himself said, we are stronger together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All righty?
Yeah. And I also will say another commercial that pissed me off was the Coinbase karaoke commercial.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, you made sing Backstreet Boys, and all of a sudden it's a Coinbase ad.
That was confusing for a bunch of us as well. We're going, what the hell? I was kind of partial to, and I picked up on it a little bit after it started, but I was kind of partial to the Dunkin' Donuts sitcom people commercial. They're all the sitcom people from Seinfeld and Friends.
Yeah.
In there. And then there was something else I saw, and I don't know if it was a commercial, but it was, oh yeah, it was John Krasinski, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and somebody who I recognize, but I can't tell you his name, were doing a Boston take on something, and I think they were just picking on the administration, but I don't remember if that was exactly it or what. But there's a couple of things. And then you can see Ben Affleck, and it might have been John Krasinski again, and Matt Damon going in alphabetical order and naming every town in Massachusetts as fast as they could. it's just, what, and you're just listening to the Boston accent, which is really pretty funny. So that was pretty great. So they've got a great sense of humor about stuff like that. Yep, I was partial to the Eagle commercial myself. And I think the sun was in my eye when I teared up a little bit. That must have been
Yeah.
it. So
And plus also plus also a really great one was like there was a lot of AI commercials in there as well. The Claude bot. But also I will say Google Super Bowl commercial, the Super Bowl commercial for Google was really great as well because there was definitely there was like if AI is used to help you build like actual thing like let's say you bought a new house, you took a photo of your kid's current room and you want to transfer over to the new room. You could ask AI to make it look like that in a way, so just see like, okay, this is a good start to how you want to build your room. So there's definitely some human elements into using AI.
it's great if it's used for good, but if somebody's going to use it for good, somebody's going to use it for evil, and that's tough because it's more and more difficult to tell what's real and what's not real any longer. I tape the game, not to necessarily watch the game, but to go back and watch the commercials that either I wasn't paying attention to or missed. There was that one the first fully AI designed commercial for Svedka vodka.
Ugh.
It was the first AI commercial in totality. So, whatever.
Well, for the Super Bowl because Coca-Cola
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the Super Bowl commercial for for $10 million for your 30 seconds. Blake, we're done, man.
All right, thank you, Lenny.
It was a long day, but I
appreciate
enjoyed
so
it.
much. But unfortunately now because we're having issues with the red button over there, I'll let you do the outro while I end the show.
Okay. Well, tomorrow we have a special guest joining us. We have Dan Tiant, son of all-world pitcher Louis Tiant, coming in to talk about what he does, the start of the baseball season, and I'm hoping we can help him get his father into the Hall of Fame because I think that is a slight that needs to be corrected, but we'll talk about that tomorrow on the air. Have a lovely night. I'm waving for both of us, so I'll use both hands. One's for me, one for Blake, and there you go.
All right, thank you, Lenny. Have a good night, everyone.
See you tomorrow.